Life support reads 61%. The runway lights are on. You didn't turn them on. Through the frost on the window, you see it, the shape that shouldn't be there. A plane, engines still spinning, sitting on the ice where nothing has landed in 180 days. You are the last living person at Meridian Station, Antarctica. That is not a feeling. That is a fact logged in triplicate. Population 1, since the last transport left in February, since winter closed the continent to every runway within 2,000 kilometers. The nearest human being who could reach you is a South African icebreaker crew, 400 nautical miles out, radio silence until the sea opens in October. You've been counting the days on the mess hall wall. Day 180 today. Halfway through the dark, the sun a rumor you remember from autumn. You keep the generators running, the weather logs current, the isolation a routine you've made peace with, coffee at 0600, radio check at 0700, silence after that, every day, the same silence, until you stopped noticing it was silence at all. Except tonight the manifest board in the comms room is lit. A flight number blinks where no flight number should exist. FLT 0180, inbound. You didn't request a flight. No transport has flown this route since February. You check the weather. -51 Celsius, wind gusting to 60 knots. A whiteout that grounds everything with wings. Nothing flies in this. You tell yourself the board glitched. Cold does that. Condensation in the relay boards, a short in the old wiring, you've seen it before. Then you hear it. Engines. Real ones, cutting through the wind, growing louder, and your hands go still on the console because engines don't glitch. You pull on your parka with fingers that won't quite cooperate and step out into a wind that tries to take the door from your hand. The runway lights you never activated, lights on a panel that requires two-person authorization you don't have, are burning white down the length of the ice strip. And there it is, a twin otter, propellers slowing, fuselage rimed white, sitting exactly on the center line like it's landed here 100 times before. No markings you recognize. No tail number that matches any operator flying this continent. The cockpit is empty. You stand there in the wind and count the windows, 6 on each side. All dark, all empty. The cargo door on the left side hangs an inch open, swinging slightly, groaning against the gale, and no one climbs out to hold it steady. You radio the icebreaker. Static answers you, the kind of static that isn't dead air, but isn't a voice either, a texture underneath it that sounds almost like breathing slowed down to nothing. You log the sighting anyway, because the procedure says to log everything, and your hand is shaking enough that the pen skips. You decide it's a diverted research flight. Engine trouble, emergency landing, crew sheltering inside from the cold before making contact. That's rational. That's the only rational thing. You walk toward the plane telling yourself this, each step measured, each breath a cloud, that the wind rips away before it forms. The cargo door creaks wider. Inside, past the dark, you see boxes. Crates stacked and lashed the way they always are, except one crate near the door has your station's name stenciled on the side. Meridian Station, return to sender. You've never shipped anything out. Your radio crackles, and this time there's a voice. Faint, layered oddly, like two recordings playing a half-second apart. It says your name. It says your name the way you say it to yourself in your head, not the way anyone else has said it in 180 days. You step back from the plane. The propellers, fully stopped now, begin, slowly, impossibly, to turn again. No engine sound, no fuel burn, just blades cutting silent circles in air that shouldn't move them at all. You run. The wind takes half your strides and gives them back wrong, and behind you the runway lights start going out in sequence, one by one, from the far end toward you, like something is walking the line and switching them off with each step, though the ice behind you is unbroken white, no boot prints, nothing. Inside the station, you bolt the door and check the manifest board. FLT 0180, inbound has changed. It now reads FLT 0180, arrived, timestamp 180 days, 00 hours, 00 minutes. The exact time you first stepped through this station's door back in January. Your radio log shows a transmission sent 4 minutes ago. Outgoing, you did not send it, you play it back. It's your voice, reciting the weather report from your very first night here, word for word. A report you remember writing but have no memory of speaking aloud again. You check the window. The plane is gone. No taxi marks, no engine scars in the ice, no sign it was ever there. Except the runway lights, every one of them, now burning steady in a pattern you've never programmed, spelling nothing you can read, just light after light after light in the dark. You sit at the comms desk because your legs have stopped being reliable. The generator hums the way it always has. The wind does what it always does. Day 180 sits on the wall calendar, chalk white, unchanged. At 0600 you make coffee out of habit, because habit is the only structure you have left. Steam rises off one mug. Then, without your hand moving, a second mug on the counter starts to steam too. You don't turn around. The manifest board flickers once more behind you. FLT 0180. Inbound, it says again, the timestamp resetting to 0, the day counter beside it ticking back to 1, and somewhere out past the frozen dark, engines that were never there begin, once more, to turn.